Hi, students. We are up to our very last literary element in the Elements of Literature packet. Okay, we're up to tone. And once again, I'm going to read this to you, and you can choose to follow along and do your annotations as I read it to you, or you might just choose to listen to it, reflect on it, and then later on go back and take your annotations or your notes. Okay, so let's begin. Tone is not easy to define because it's a quality of language that is suggested, not stated. Tone is a speaker's attitude toward a subject or toward an audience. Tone can be sarcastic, teasing, critical, serious, playful, angry, admiring, ironic, and so on. Painters can also reveal tones. The artist whose work is shown below takes a mocking tone toward the poor poet who counts out his syllables in a leaky attic. And I'll just quickly move down so you can take a look at the image. Okay. And here we have the poet. His fingers are up because he's counting syllables, and we see the umbrella. It looks like it could be nailed to the attic roof due to the leaky attic ceiling. Okay, here we go. When we speak out loud, we reveal tone by the way we use our voices and bodies. We use our voices to create emphasis. That is, we give importance to particular words by pausing and varying our pitch and volume. Take a simple sentence such as school starts next week. By emphasizing different words and by varying your pitch, volume, and pauses, you can change your tone. Try it. So in this exercise, the authors would like us to try conveying this sentence in different tones. The first option is sincere. School starts next week. The second, disbelieving. School starts next week. The third, excited. School starts next week. And the fourth option, disgusted. School starts next week. Okay? Hopefully you were able to depict all the differences. When a poem is printed on a page, we can't hear its tone in the way we can hear a tone of voice. But a poem does convey a tone. And until you've heard its tone, you haven't grasped the poet's complete message. Look at the words. One way tone is revealed is through word choice or diction. If a poet sees a red face and describes it as beefy, the tone is unsympathetic, maybe even sarcastic. No one wants to look like a piece of steak, but if the poet describes the face as rosy or robust, the tone is positive and approving. If a poet compares the world to a rose, the tone is approving. The world seems beautiful. But if a poet compares the world to a prickly cactus, the world does not seem so beautiful, and we sense a cynical tone. If the poet describes a gaping wound as a minor scratch, we sense an ironic tone. We know the poet is saying one thing, but really means something else. William Wordsworth's tone was solemn when he said, "A slumber did my spirit seal." If you said, "I blanked out," you'd be saying more or less the same thing, but your tone would be completely different. William Shakespeare was adoring when he asked his lover, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" But when he stated in another poem, "My mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun," he was mocking poets who use such exaggerated comparisons. Listen to the sounds. Rhythms and rhymes can also convey tone. If we hear a lively, bouncy rhythm and jingly rhymes, we know the poet is probably not feeling solemn about the subject. If a poem is slow-moving and stately, we figure the poet is not looking at the subject in a light, humorous way. When Ogden Nash writes, "Any hound a porcupine nudges can't be blamed for harboring grudges," we laugh. The bouncy rhythm and jingly rhyme reveal to us at once that Nash is being silly and funny. When you read a poem, try to hear the poet's tone of voice and what he or she is emphasizing. Look at the words the poet has chosen and listen to the way the poem sounds. Once you catch the poet's tone of voice, you become aware of a particular attitude, and the meaning of the poem will become clearer for you. And that's it. Okay? Thank you for listening.